You put fertilizer in?
Yeah.
We got a mason jar full and a scoop inside the garage. Oh, let me get Tux's food down. Don distracted me. I didn't mean to do that. Come on, let's go. I'm so sorry. You were just being so good. You went over to the other food bowl too. It confused me. Good morning. Good morning. Here, let me turn the good stuff around where you can get to it. It's a good boy. Aww. Good morning. Why aren't you eating? Yeah, it's busted.
Well, why don't we help it if it's busted?
I don't know. It must have got busted between last year and this year. Yeah.
A leak.
I'm
leaking all over the place.
You are. I think we'll be throwing that one away. It's an oldie but a goodie. We hope he can get down there and still have some water, poor guy. Yes, I realized yesterday afternoon and I didn't do what I should have done. Hey, bud. It's only 72 out here this morning and Dawn is letting the hot air out and putting the cool air in the garage this morning. Dawn chucked the watering can. My brain said, I can still use it to water stuff around the driveway, no big deal. My brain should have said, Dawn's gonna try to take that to the street. I should put it in the GMC to go to the landfill. But it's handled now. Hi. I did a little watering too, up here near the garage. These plants right across the front take a lot of sun late afternoon, so that tall thing over there that's gonna have a yellow flower on it, that's from the front yard. The birds brought it up here. It wilts quick, but everything's looking good. I have no complaints about how things are looking. I'm trying to stay up with the water, and the mosquitoes haven't been killing me this year, so that's the only reason why I don't like to water, is if I get bit up by mosquitoes. Hey, buddy, I know, stripes right at my legs. Hey, bud, did you get enough to eat? It's a nice, peaceful morning. I was noticing that the white flowers on my butterfly bush down there are blooming, starting to bloom. You know, I trimmed it back, it grew. It's blooming now. Gray and Panther here and doing good. I'm not totally done editing, but I finished up a couple of yesterday's videos and was sitting out here with Gray for a minute while Dawn did a couple of chores in the house. Hey, handsome.
Hey there, pretty girl. You and Ruby going somewhere?
Yeah, you ready for another FSD beta drive with me and Ruby?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, yeah, right.
We've done this in Jules. We just repeated it in Ruby. You know, we need a destination with the beta, and we're basically going to do the drive that we do with Jules on the weekend to compare the beta in Ruby, the X, to Jules, the Y. So anyway, we're set up now. So she let me engage it at the end of the driveway. I'm going to bump it down to 15. We really don't want to go through the neighborhood at 25 through here. Now there's no stop sign up, but there is supposed to be a stop sign here, and she did stop as if the sign was there, even though the actual sign is on the ground and has been for several years, not something we did. So last night we were cutting up, having fun. I'll try to be a little less, a little more serious today, a little less whiny as I was. Let's see, yep, the pothole is covered in. Don and I still look for it though, because we obviously don't want our wheels going into a pothole. Probably just a little farther back, Ruby, than you need to be from the stop sign. If I had to say, you can't see here at all. Says she's creeping forward. Wow, I thought she would stop again, but she didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna bump it up now. I'll bump it up to 30. The speed limit here is 35, but 30 is better on these S curves. Really. It just the road's just a little too narrow. You ought to have seen it before they redid the bridge and redid the road. If you think it's bad now, it used to be really bad. going to try to do my best to keep my hands on the wheel and tight enough to let it know I'm here, but not so tight I jerk it out. It's really is a little bit of a challenge, I think, not to jerk it out. Not so much because you don't trust what it's doing, but because the torque changes. You know, instead of making a smooth turn around a corner, a lot of times the wheel goes back and forth and is kind of jaggedy. And that's when your hand doesn't expect the movement and is caught gripping it a little too tight. So far, so good. I do think Ruby's driving is fairly equivalent, is very equivalent to Jules' driving, you know, a car that came out of the factory with what it needed for the beta versus a car that had to be upgraded for the beta. But I'll let you know a little bit more after the ride over to the Greenway if I still feel that way or not. I guess we need, you know, to let Don gasp drive Ruby again. And, you know, he can have a comment because he has more hours behind the wheel with Jules and the beta than I do, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she did okay.
All right, I'm going to...
Jules rarely handles this well.
Yeah.
Nope. She was going to go when there was a car. Not saying that she wouldn't have still at some point decided to stop, but... we don't have good luck here. You can't see very far to the right as a person. So, you know, then the car can't really see very good either. Re-engage it.
Yeah, but I would definitely say she jumps out there quicker than she used to try.
Right.
She was more cautious before.
Whoa. That was a sudden dip to the right. Now, Jules has been taking us into that turn lane.
Right.
I didn't know what she was really going to do there. She seemed to be recovering in the middle of me not letting her take us off the road.
Right.
So, would she have, in the end, been okay? Yes. But, you know, there's a little bit of an agreement here between... I'm trying. She's a little toward the yellow line there, but that car was 4 or 5 feet in from the yellow line, so I was able to give her a little leeway. It's also a little less, well, first off, last night was the first ride in Ruby for me, so it was you know, new sensations, and we were in a good mood because we had date day all day yesterday, and, you know.
I had ice cream.
We had ice cream, we had sugar, we had a sugar high that we don't normally have, you know, all of that stuff.
Dopamine release.
But today in the daylight, it's a little more, you know, normal, I guess.
Sugar high's over.
Right.
The hangover.
We're going to walk, you know, so we're just sort of... I've been video editing all morning. All right, she handled. I did apply slight force. Oh, she's, you know, I'm going to kick you out if you're going to say I'm not applying enough force. I'm not going to get a penalty like Dawn.
Yeah, famous last words.
It is nice that we don't have the cabin camera, so even though I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do, Dawn can get in my space with the phone and it not be, woo, come on, Ruby, let's go, girl.
Throw me back in my seat there.
Well, after that white warning box, I'm going to apply a little more torque. I mean, I have my hand over the wheel, but, you know, it's like... it's like some of these Twitter bans where you don't know who to complain to because you really didn't do anything wrong.
Now she's going to make a right turn here. She's probably going to be pretty aggressive going beside that car.
Really?
Yes. Just letting you know.
Okay. Yeah, you know, we don't really expect her to turn here.
Nobody's coming, thank God.
Whoa. Well, she handled that. She stayed within her lane properly. It was a little faster than I would have taken the turn.
Right.
But she handled it properly. She stayed in the lane well. Yeah, we don't really like to come this way with Jules.
Well, there's a terrible left turn on this thing.
Right. Well, I'm not so worried about that on a Sunday morning, but the road, there's construction over here. The road is bumpy in some spots. It's, yeah. I know we've had some people say, you know, let the car do what it wants to do. The car knows better than you, the best navigation. But, you know, in so many of these things, the navigation decides. Whoa, there was a plate in the road again. So I chose to slow up a little more than she was going. It would have been okay, but... the car doesn't have all of the reactions to this road that us poor humans do. We have a lot of reactions to coming this way. Yeah, well, we will be careful up here with this left turn because she's more aggressive now in all of her maneuvers with this release than, you know,
Yeah, well,
has been before.
The left turn, if there weren't other people trying to turn off the highway, it would be a lot less stressful for us to let her try, but it backs up there very quickly.
Well, she may be being more assertive at stop signs and stuff, but I have to say that you can go, girl, go. I gave her a little acceleration to let her and the other guy at the intersection know taking this turn. I've learned from watching Dawn and from other recommendations that when you really see that it's good to go if the car's not moving, a little acceleration. I think Andy was the one that told us. We've told several other people. We've kind of got it now.
Well, it helps reduce my stress if I tell her to go, because I know it's clear and it's safe and I push it and go. Whereas when she struggles, I have no idea when she's going to decide to go, and by that time it may be too late. So it just helps my stress level to confirm it's good to go, especially in these tricky situations. I mean, if there's nobody coming and there's nobody behind us, then she can struggle. I'll let her struggle and let go. But in these traffic things where, you know, as again, there's only one self-driving car per several million other vehicles on the road, it's you know, the people, they don't understand why this car is halfway into the intersection and stopped. And it makes no sense. They'll run into the rear of you because they're gonna think, oh, he's went, and you didn't went. You just pulled out and stopped.
Well, I'm feeling very comfortable with the lane keeping. You know, she's doing all the things she would normally do in autopilot, maintaining the appropriate, reading the speed. Whoa, a little bit over there on the curve. So me and my big mouth about how great she was lane keeping. And I'm not saying it wouldn't have been okay, but yeah, this is this turn.
That's a busy road. That's NC 55. That is a major connection between Fuquay and Anger, and then point south. I mean, it goes basically all the way to like the coast.
Right, but as Don said, part of the problem has been that a lot of times nothing come and go. Car,
you're still good. So she did all that?
Yep, she did. I hit the accelerator so she wouldn't lose the window that we had. See, for me, and I think Don agrees too, it's not about zero disengagements or never touching the accelerator or not taking control when it's obviously you should. For me, it's more about developing a smooth flow where the car and I are working together as a team, and the, you know, best driving experience for me or Dawn, you know. So I will hit the accelerator. I will take her out if I need to.
Well,
she's not going to turn in up here. We're
right.
0.7 miles from our turn. We know that, well, at least our Model Y, Jules won't turn in. So
it basically shows she's not going to turn.
Right, there's no line into the parking lot. It's sort of hit or miss whether these beta cars are willing to actually go into parking areas or not.
Right.
And our experience with this one, and confirmed today because Dawn looked at the map, is she's not going to turn in. So I'll let her do her thing until we get, you know, I'll signal and take her in at the right time. Well, I have nothing negative to say about the drive over here today. Don and I, on the roads around here, we've not been having quote unquote, there, I took her out with the brake. We've not been having zero disengagement drives. I would say this was pretty typical for a drive for Jules over here or anywhere else we've really been in the car with the beta. So
is she gonna park?
I think she's in that vehicle and she's gonna load
No,
her.
I'm talking about Ruby. Is Ruby gonna park?
Oh, I didn't. I was paying attention to the bicyclists and I did not look to see. Sorry.
That's all right.
Don just said the sun is intense, but the humidity is low. And the breeze is kind of on and off. It's pretty comfortable out here, but the heat is radiating off the asphalt a bit. What time is it?
Oh, let me look at my watch.
It's okay, Donnie.
12:32.
Okay, 12:32. Don let me finish editing yesterday's videos. I did the long drive, road trip, date day video, have EV will travel, and then I did the FSD beta special shorter video. I just didn't want to tack that on the end of the day yesterday. There's some more general interest, and that video was getting too long anyway. I still need to do the superchargers. Not only the two that we did yesterday, but I believe last I looked, Somerton did not have a video, and Don did one in Somerton on his trip. And I need to spend an hour and put together the the supercharger review videos. And then when I have them up on YouTube, I can go over to the website and add them, request them to be added. It blew my hat off my head. Thank goodness it's around my neck, but we got up here by the lake and the breeze feels darned good.
Coming across that water, they picked up some speed.
Yeah, there's no water coming over the spillway today at all. It's okay, but we don't have any rain in the forecast until Thursday, and that's not a big rain event. All these trees here, all this green, it requires a lot of frequent rain. Kitty under the car in the shade. I threw the ball for Ruby the dog at that house. She comes over, she drops the ball so it falls through the fence. You throw it, she brings it right back. She'll do it as many times as you're willing to stay there. She's a real sweetheart. Big black lab. Happy girl. I think the owner called her Ruby. Seriously. Yay! My arms are feeling a little bit hot. Hopefully not sunburnt hot.
I can feel the warmth on the top of my cap.
Yeah, it's intense, if not super hot sun.
Well, yeah, it is June, so the sun is like perfect.
We're right.
Over
Yep.
And the shadow is right underneath you if you look.
I'm looking at the wildflowers, so I'll look at the shadow in a second. They're very pretty. I told Don it made it worth walking all the way over here. I'm betting those are volunteers, and that's my first sunflower of the year. So all of the houses now have shingles except for this one on the end here.
Yeah.
They're enclosed. They've got shingles. Don was...
See this one right here, the second one in, the one that has the notch, the porch under the bottom. That's it right there.
Yep.
And then that one, next one over, it may or may not be that. It's amazing. They just sprinkle the houses, and I was thinking that this second one in with the windows on the second floor is going to have a better view of the lake than this one here on the...
Sure.
Because now you could say the bottom floor has a better view, but there's no windows up there in that second floor corner. It's funny how they don't really consider, they just, you know, they have an algorithm that says you plant this house,
right,
every fifth house is going to be this floor plan. And, you know, the only difference, so it looks different from the street, is the elevation will change. They'll put the A-frame over the garage versus the front door, you know, but it's really the exact same house.
Yeah, I noticed this one here has more windows than some of the others. Whoever spec'd that one, maybe they paid a little bit more and added a few windows. It really does have about, I'd say about 6 more than some of these other houses. Although none of them are puny on windows. The path we've traveled and the home stretch back to the AC running in Ruby. I got a message that climate has been on for an extended period of time. I did notice this summer, instead of 2 hours, it's now 1 hour, which is probably, you know, reasonable. Ask me how I would know about the 2-hour message. That would be called me and Michelle shopping day.
Okay, I guess we're gonna go home now.
Oh yeah, that would help if I put home in, so she'd know where to go. Alright.
There we go.
She's not offering me autopilot yet, to be clear. on to 55 from this location.
Yeah.
Before she offers it.
Well, they look closer in the screen of the phone.
Autopilot cameras unavailable. We have the error message back. Typically she'll engage anyway, but right now she actually is not putting up the symbols for engagement, and that's changed due to the beta, I would have to say.
Yeah.
She's detected a problem, and
Yeah, she doesn't like baking in the sun, I can tell you.
yeah, whatever's going on has to do with this, with the sun.
Yeah.
Bummer. Sorry. Guess we're gonna have to report it. I know it's Sunday, but I got out to double check Amazon didn't put anything in the mailbox, and the message went away. It's never gone away before, just because I've exited and got back in, even though the message implies that might be the case. I'm skeptical that it'll stay gone, but who knows? Maybe. I mean, for this afternoon, I am going to go for an additional drive. So I'm out in Ruby. The error message did go away, gone away. I parked her in the garage for the 30 minutes or so that I was at the house, so she was in the shade. I am headed to take something to my older son at his father's house and put some more miles on Ruby today. Don's working, so I've got a little bit of time. I'm just noting that when I have autopilot engaged, I get the extended visualizations, which we have enabled in the profile, and when I'm just driving myself, I do not. I get the enhanced car screen, you know, lane reds and colors and such, but not, it doesn't take up the whole space. So just interesting, just making note of that. I'll use autopilot FSD beta out here on 401. I'm fixing to go over the spot where sometimes she has a forward collision warning in error. We'll see if we get that. Okay, here's the crust in the road. And you know, all I can really say is she didn't do it that time. It would take coming through here, you know, many times before I would be willing to say that it wasn't happening anymore. It's a little slow up there. Sometimes it happens there at the second crest too. Not today. I'm almost back home. I dropped off what I intended to, and I've just played a little bit of Pokemon. The special Pokemon Go Fest 2022 ends at 6 p.m. It's now 4:30. I've pretty much completed everything, but of course, you know, there's always that hope for one more shiny. The outside of this building really is about done now, and like I told Johnny, they really did do a pretty good job of making it fit into downtown and not be too towering, and so it's good. I've been out playing Pokemon, and you've been doing important things like making bacon.
Well, I got my bacon. What are you going to eat?
I think there's more in the oven. I think you got some for me too.
I think so.